This is going to be a reading for the first week of February. So pick a card, 1, 2, or 3, and we'll talk about what that means for you for the first week of February. For our number ones, we have the 8 of Pentacles. And what the 8 of Pentacles looks like that we're growing, we're building something. There's something that we are putting a lot of hard work, a lot of creativity into. There may be a new passion that you're finding that is super motivating to you. And you should definitely lean into it, as this is gonna pay off. Look, all of his pentacles are almost on the tree and he's still working on the rest of them. We are reaping rewards here. Whatever we are focusing on or whatever we are building for ourselves is likely to have some sort of positive payout. This could be for you, it could be for a business, it could be for a creative endeavor, but it's definitely gonna have a positive effect. And definitely think about, where in your life can you find joy? So maybe if you haven't been necessarily working on these things, think about what things in your life brings you joy and how can you hone in and focus on that. Twos, we have the 3 of Pentacles. My twos, we're likely going to be having some type of partnership, whether that be at work, school, or whatever, that is going to require you to work within a team. And because for some reason I'm getting that there might be some conflict in this team. Don't ask me why. That's not necessarily what the card indicates, but that's just what I'm getting as a download, that there might be some issues working within this team. Therefore, what can we do to learn from others instead of bulldozing our perspective and what we want, even if someone doesn't necessarily have as much expertise or knowledge in our area? What can we do in order to learn from them? So high level or low level people, quote unquote, right? Because we're all equal, right? But when we're talking about status and working in a group, it's you may be forcing your perspective, but we have to collaborate here too. So we have to figure out how we can learn from others and what we can learn from ourselves too. What are we adding to the team? Are we adding a new perspective to the team? Or maybe we're just being a little childish and wanting to be just a tiny little bit petty and not necessarily wanting to learn from others. But we are definitely being put in these situations for a reason too. So we definitely should use this wisely now that we know, so that we can learn from others. For my threes, we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups, if we take a look at the image, there's a lot of water imagery here. We have a man who's a little happy, but he also has a fish coming out of his cup. And it's a silly little card. And it has a silly little meaning. And it basically means we may be connecting with our inner child a little bit more in this first week of February. My threes, doing things that maybe we enjoyed as a child, doing things that allow us to feel shy or feel playful. And you definitely should be thinking about, what ways can you let go of perfectionism in order to get back to who you were as a child. For some of us, we were very fearless as a kid, and then the world kind of told us, no, we shouldn't be fearless. And what effects can that have on us? Are we being a little too serious with ourselves? This week for our threes, we're going to be forced to let go and really hone in on that inner child and that playfulness energy, okay? I also would like to say for this card, because we also have to talk about the warnings. As much as I want to be positive Polly, I still gotta be a touch of negative Nancy. I will also say that for this card, make sure the playfulness is not going too far. Make sure that we are sticking with the good parts of our inner child, right? The creativity, the ability to do what we want, that fearlessness, that freedom. But let's also ensure that we're not being the negative parts of our childhood as well, or we're bringing up a lot of things may be bringing up a lot of negative parts of our childhood as well, and make sure that we're using our adult selves to follow the issue. So let me rephrase that in a way that makes sense. While we should be having a great time with creativity and letting our inner child go and letting our perfectionism go, we also want to make sure that if we are getting into issues that are triggering our inner child or our childhood traumas or whatever the case may be, please make sure that you are using your adult self to solve some of those issues. But anyway, good luck for this first week of February.